It's already on?
You're live now, yeah.
All right, well, very good. Okay, well, let me move this thing back. It makes my head look huge. Well, good afternoon, everyone. What we're going to do today is this is our video chat session. What I want to do is just kind of share a little bit of time with the community today. Any questions that you might have, please feel free to ask. You know, it's important that we're open and transparent, have good conversations. That's one of the reasons that we do these chat sessions. So a couple things I'd ask anybody who is on, if you would let me know if it's sounding okay, if the sound is coming through. It's one of the things we try to manage, make sure it gets right. I know we got maybe like a fan or some blowing in the background, but I want to make sure that sounds the best that we can, that you can see okay, and then I will try to respond to each and every question. Now, sometimes the comments flip. Sometimes the comments flip. So if I miss one, I charge it to my heart. Not it's nothing personal, and we'll try to go back and catch up on that. It's been a pretty interesting week for us here. Really, the last couple weeks. I was in Norfolk yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about that. So that's what I'd like to do. I'll talk a little bit about our crime, what we're experiencing in Newport News, kind of where we're at, some things that we have going on in the department in our city, and then some things that we have as we move forward. What's coming around the bend. We'll talk about our hiring event. We're going to talk about our graduation. And we've got a really cool event coming up on a conversation about domestic violence with the chiefs. We'll talk a little bit about that. I want to talk to you about our push 30 for 30, not like the series on TV, right, ESPN, but 30 for 2030, 30 for 30, and law enforcement, what that is. So what I'm going to ask is if, one, somebody just give me some feedback that we're coming through okay and you can hear us and we're sounding all right. The last thing I want to do is like, oh my gosh, we can't hear you. But I appreciate all those that are joined us today. So again, the reason we're here is our chat session. I'm going to spend an afternoon with you today, and then we'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. And again, I'm just answering questions or sharing information from the police department to citizens of our community. So let me start with saying right now we are up one homicide this year from where we were last year. We have 23 homicides in our city, and we last year at this point we had 22. So for me, then the issue is clearance rates. The FBI records. Marina, thank you. I see that. Ms. Carter, appreciate you. Thank you. Maria, it's good to have you here. Good. Sean, thank you. All right, they're good. So we're good. Because sometimes, like, Chief, we can't hear you. So that's good. Watching from New Hampshire, always a pleasure. Robin, I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Nakia. Miss Neal, it's good to see you. Thank you very much. Miss Wallace, thank you. So, Daryl, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. So when we talk about the FBI looks at crime data, and then they look at clearance rates, which are arrests, and they set a national average. The national average goes for across the country. So right now, for the first time in years, the national clearance rate dropped. It used to be 62, 63%. Now it's at 50%. So we are well above the national average. We're sitting at about, with homicides that we've cleared this year from years past, which all go into that calculation, we're sitting about a 65% clearance rate. And we have good leads, good strong movement on 3 or 4 cases that we're investigating this year. And then there's some that have gone a little stale that we continue to push on. But every homicide case, just want to note this before we go further, every homicide case is open until it's closed. People get promoted, people transfer, people retire. But that case stays open and is passed on until there's arrest made. So I don't, sometimes we'll get calls, Chief, I just want to make sure my loved one's not forgotten. I promise you, it's not. I get a report about every 4 months, 4 or 5 months. I just had it about a month ago of all the open homicides from this year, where we're at, and how we're moving. So the biggest hit we're having in crime this year, the biggest increase is our larcenies. Now, some of that is some things that are going on this year that were a little different in 2021 and 2020. So in the analytical approach, as we look at A lot of things from COVID were closed down in 20 and 21. So larcenies is our biggest increase. If I were to show you the exact number, you'd be like, oh my gosh. But those larcenies are just about right in line with where they were in 2019 before we got into the really heavy years of COVID, 2020 and 2021. There's just more things open now than there were before. I'm not making an excuse for anything. That our larcenies are driving our property crime. We're doing really good with our burglaries. We're hanging in there about average with auto theft. Our aggravated assaults are about where they were last year. And our homicide, like I said, our homicide is up 1. The other driving factor in our violence crime, it falls under the aggravated assault category. So aggravated assault is a stabbing, a bad beating, or a shooting, because our shootings are up. We're up about 6 or 7 shootings from where we were this year, and that's concerning to me. What's also concerning to me is the number of youth that have been suffered gunshot wounds in our city. I just asked for that report. I wanted to take a look at the number of youth that had been shot in our city or suffered gunshot wounds, and then also the number of youth that were suspects in shootings. In the last report I got, we have 11 individuals who have suffered gunshot wounds in our city that are juveniles, out of 80. And then we have 2, maybe 3 shootings in our city that are the suspects are juveniles. So that's concerning to me. Where do the firearms come from? How do they get, de-escalation, the first response? And a lot of our shootings, a lot of our homicides are about anger, frustration, not being able to walk away. I had a conversation with a teenager today about don't let words incite you. Just walk away from that. It's not worth something escalating and causing an injury or a loss of life to somebody. That affects 2 families, not only communities and neighborhoods, but the individual who's injured or loses a life, and the individual who's going to pay for it for the rest of theirs, the effect of that family. And it's just there can be retaliation, or a cycle that goes on, or someone that leaves a bar and is frustrated. And not to mention, we haven't even talked about those situations that revolve around domestic violence, domestic homicides. Most of our shootings, most of our violence are around people who know each other. But there are some that are gang and group related. But there's also some that just is an act of anger, that because we had words or an argument that I felt disrespected, I picked up a firearm and I pulled the trigger. And once you do that, you can't retract it. And it affects all of us. So I just wanted to kind of share a little bit of where we're at with crime. If the FBI reported our numbers today, we're about 11 or 12% up in crime this year. And if they ask, all right, Chief, what's driving that? The biggest increase we have is our larcenies. That's our thefts, shoplifting, stolen property. And when I look at that, those numbers, those incidents are about the same as they were in 2019, but they're certainly up from 2021 and 2020, and that's the increase. So it's important to understand the why, the reason why. Now, let me say this before I go on to some other things going on in our department. Every violent crime that we have, or every burglary that we have, or every auto theft, that's an incident. It's a report that's documented. But I also know that that's an individual. It's a family. Those incidents affect people, communities, and neighborhoods. And I don't look at it as just statistical data. I know there's a victim associated with it. I know that. That's why we have a young adult police commissioner program to work with youth. That's why we have a homicide support group. That's why we brought in domestic violence personnel, hired them here, and hired social workers here. But I don't want anyone to, well, you're just looking at stats and numbers. I'm not. I know those are individuals. I know what those numbers represent. But when I look at that statistical data, evidence-based, it allows me to see if our initiatives, our strategies, our performance is decreasing, or if we need to tweak that to make a more effective decrease. What's working in other police departments with other regions of the United States. Even what's working in the North Precinct might not work well in the South, or vice versa. So that's the reason we look at that. We've hired a lot of analysts to come in and look at that data analytically, time of day, method of entry, those type things. So I just wanted to give you kind of a background, kind of a foundation, I guess, of how we're looking as a city and what we're doing. We've taken more guns off the street this year than last year, probably about 100 more by the end of the year. So that's removing those firearms is important, but also addressing those individuals who choose to pick up that firearm and wreak havoc in our communities and families. So I'm going to go back and I want to ask Kelly, I know there's been a lot. Let's just go back. I said hello to some people.
Yeah, let me get down to the last one.
I'm good with this.
Flipping
I
up
saw
to the
that.
top. Tim Joseph.
Hold up, scroll up a little bit. Right above Tim. I just want to say hi to Adley Spratley. Thank you for being here, Miss Spratley. Thank you for everything you do in the community. I know you're out there giving out Bibles, visiting people in the hospital, and I appreciate what you do. Tim, hey Chief, happy October. Same to you, my friend. How do you feel about the design of the police station with the Sherwood? Well, Tim, I will tell you, I'm excited. We've been in that North Precinct for a while. We have grown the department, and it's a little tight in there. But I want, my hope, my idea is that our police department, the new police station, when it's built, if it is in there in that Sherwood, that it's part of the community. I want us to make sure that we've got classes in there, can bring the community in and interact. I want it to be an inviting place. There's a lot of things that go on, especially in the South Precinct, things that happen inside the precinct, community-based, I mean, with the fantastic Grissom Library that's up there, to be around that, I think is just going to be a tremendous benefit in the stuff that comes through. So I'm really excited. I know the officers are excited about a new facility, much more modern and updated, and we can spread out a little bit instead of being so packed. But that's a great question, man. Thank you.
I think she-
That's right there. Anyone looking for work for home jobs? It's okay. We'll just take it. We'll just take our time. Scroll back. Nope. Go back up the other way. Go ahead above. That's
Right
okay.
here.
All right. Anyone looking for work from home job? We need Amazon. All right. Well, I guess that was a plug for Amazon. The location toward the back, rather. You know, Tim, for me, where it's located at, you know, I'm going to be good. I want to want those officers out interacting, and I think if there's some amenities around there, library, open space, that will create some movement by officers interacting, somewhere they can get a cup of coffee, interact with community. I'm just excited for a new facility. We're in need of that. But that anything that creates where we're able to be more accessible to community, walking and interacting, I think is a benefit. Keith, good to have you on board. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. How do you see the governor's Operation Bold Blue Line? So Keith, I was there. It's a great segue. I was into at Norfolk yesterday with a lot of other chiefs and a lot of other officers, police leadership, and just hearing what's going on around our area. I think the governor laid out some things that we're all talking about. There's a big chiefs police conference down in Dallas. I sent 2 of my assistant chiefs there, and I asked them, the things I want them to look at is technology, things that we're not doing in recruiting, and ways to maintain officers to stay in this profession. We know this profession's hard. It's changed a lot over the years. The expectations are very high. It's very, very demanding, but it's also very, very rewarding. And a lot of people can complain about policing and law enforcement, but when you dial 911, you expect somebody to respond. And we don't always get it right. Just because we put this badge and patches on, we don't always get it right. But men and women who are willing to give up parts of their life to serve others, that's admirable to me. That's heroic to me. I'm humbled to work with men and women in this profession, sworn and civilian both. You know, we're always hiring. And I see a lot of people who step back and address what police aren't doing. That's easy. But to get out and go serve communities, that's hard. So it means a lot to me, the men and women, to do this. The things that the governor talked about was issues with compression. He talked about recruitment. He talked about retention, shortages. He talked about state police and just departments across the country. And who suffers are those individuals where we see high areas of crime, right? And what things do we, when we're short in law enforcement, former Chief Larry Boone did a great interview just a week ago with, I believe it was Channel 3, and he talked about how that puts more workload on officers, how you have to shut down some of your divisions that you might have to make sure those 911 calls are answered. It's concerning if we have a different lag time, right? We try to get to those high priority calls within 3.5 minutes. And sometimes when you're shortage, it can overload officers, or it can delay a response time or increase it. To increase the, instead of 3 minutes, we get 6, 7, 8, and a lot can happen in that time frame. So the things he talked about, I thought were key elements. And I talked to my 2 assistant chiefs that are in Dallas, and he said those classes that are talking about that, recruitment and retention, are the most the biggest classes, the most attended classes there. I also wanted to look at technology. How do we continue to advance? But it was a good meeting. We also talked about the importance of investing in people and the humanity in this job, and trying to work with citizens, grassroots organizations that are doing things, our churches. How do we treat people better, whether they're victims of domestic violence, homelessness? We talked about fentanyl and overdoses. But I think he laid out a pretty comprehensive plan. It was an honor to be there. I got to be there with several other police chiefs and police departments that we all talk about and have the same issues. So it was really good to be out there and put our 2 cents in of what we're doing in Newport News. What are our challenges? It was a round table before his press conference. We were able to share what we're doing and hear from others about what's working, what's not working, and some challenges they're facing. So it was great. Scroll up just a minute. Is Chris is right after? Yeah, all right. What is do one police or violent perpetrator? Scrolling down, let me get all his together. Oh, that's right. You don't address court. Scroll down a little bit. It's okay. I have to apologize for a minute. The screen froze on us a minute. So we got.
Okay, so
oh, we'll go back
he
up.
starts, okay, this is where Mr. Day starts.
Nope. Actually, go right above Marcus.
Okay.
Nope. Go above. Well, there's a lot, isn't it?
Okay,
All right, there we go.
yeah, right here.
So again, I will tell you, I apologize. The screen jumps a little bit, so we'll just kind of keep going back up. Go one above Chris. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. I'm not going to go back and forth today. I want to talk to citizens who want to address issues. I'm not going to do banter.
So, we covered, this is where he starts.
Okay, I got Keith.
We got Keith.
So Keith, again, thank you for what you're doing, my friend. It was a good meeting and able to share.
Marcus addresses Mr. Day.
Marcus, it's okay. Don't get drawn into other stuff. We're gonna stay focused. Good afternoon, Chief. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Lovell, good. Diane, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Miss Bradley. Now, I will tell you, Miss Bradley, she has such a heart, and you get me choked up. She has such a heart for people. She will ask, Chief, is there any people that are hurting? Who can I go visit? Who can I put a Bible in their hands? Who can I talk to? And it's just, man, it's great. So let me just stop here with Mr. McVeigh for a minute. We'll address it and move on. So Mr. McVeigh is complaining about a situation that he and I had. I think there was a court case. It was addressed in lower court. Then there was appeal, and it was addressed in court just a week and a half ago. So we've moved on from that, Chris. You may not like the decision. I understand that. It's nothing personal. And I'll tell you this, Chris. If you dial 911 today, officers will still come to help you. So you don't have to agree, and you may not like law enforcement or profession or whatever the situation is, but if you or loved ones dial 911 today, whatever it was, and I pray nothing ever happens, but fender bender, accident, whatever it might be, officers will still come to help you. I don't appreciate how you berate them. I don't appreciate how you try to draw them into confrontations, but I could not be more impressed with the way they handle it and a heart of service. So we're going to leave it at that. The court case went forward, and I'm sorry you feel that way, but we're going to move on. Okay, Maria, do you think mental health has a large part to play in increase in homicides? Maria, I think mental health has a large part to play in everything. We created, and I have to give all the credit to Chief Hudgens. He was an assistant chief here. We worked together, and then he was selected to be the chief of police in Pineville, North Carolina. He came up with a program kind of modeled after what was going on out in Portland, out in Seattle. And we have a care model. So what we're trying to do is we have paramedics and professionals who respond to people with mental illness that might be suffering from depression, homelessness, just going through maybe some kind of mix up in medication. So what we try to do is, when they're not violent calls, is to send them as first responders, and we become the second responders. Sometimes this uniform might upset someone or push someone in a different direction. So we'll kind of stay in the background, park in the driveway or stay in the street, unless something turns violent. But I believe mental issues and mental health is real. Stress affects people. Situations affect people, and I would just tell you, Maria, we had a situation with an officer here, and I've been doing this job about 30 years. I think it's important to create an atmosphere when you talk about mental health. I want to make sure that the individuals that are doing this job, that are willing to do this job, to serve others, to work through the night, to miss holidays and birthdays, to stay late to cover vacant shifts, to be there for youth and events that happen in our city. I need to make sure that they're okay, physically, right, but also mentally. And I want to create an atmosphere where people, if they go to a critical situation, a really hard scene, whether it's something with a child or a critical situation, that we have the ability to talk to people. We have a CISM team here in the police department that has trained professionals to check on and interact with individuals who go to some of the more violent scenes, or that respond to traffic accidents with fatalities, incidents with children. And there's some units that I mandate that we go. Our special victims unit to deal with crimes against children, our forensics personnel, which I think is some of the best in the state, that the crime scenes that they process for hours, it has to affect them. You know, we can put it in our mind and not think about it, but it's there. I just want to create an atmosphere, unlike law enforcement maybe 30 years ago that I was used to. You know, we don't talk about those things. But mental health is real. It's a real key issue, and I think we have to create an atmosphere that allows people to talk about it. So, do I think it's absolutely?
We're gonna have
It's okay. Thanks, Chief. Definitely exciting. All right. Oh, Tim, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Maria, thank you.
okay, so we were going to have a lot of comments.
That's all right. We're just going to
All right,
pass him
we're
over
gonna pass that
and keep
over.
going. I understand his position.
Paul.
And, yep. Sorry for the random question. Would you guys ever invest in a legal street racing track for everyone? The car scene is getting hot. Maybe a safe track. You know, Paul, I never thought of it. I do worry. I see some people doing that now, and I've seen we've already had one traffic fatality not too long ago with cars racing. I think that affects a lot of people and lives. I don't think you could have anything like that. You know, on city streets is nowhere for it. Private parking lots, that's not for it. If the city said, "Hey, we were looking," are you asking like a racetrack or something like that? I think there could be discussion for that if it can be done safely, but we cannot put other people in danger or at risk. Just this week, we had 2 or 3 traffic fatalities, pedestrians hitting the street. One was a youth, a teenager. She didn't lose her life, but she was struck by a vehicle. And I'm not saying they're right for being I'm just saying that the way it's being done now is dangerous. It's dangerous. But your idea, I think, could have some traction in the right conversations, in the right arenas.
It saves absolutely.
Yep, Maria, thank you. Absolutely. Marcus, what? No, go up just a little
He
bit.
was responding to,
I just want to see it.
okay.
Marcus, you're exact. Wow. I could just refer to Marcus's comment. That's very good. Thank you. Catherine, hello. You start.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Have you started your chief interviews yet? If not, what do you plan on for a possible candidate? Catherine, so we selected our newest assistant chief a little over a year ago. Chief Eric Hires is our newest assistant chief. He replaced. So we've, you know, it's always, you always hate to lose someone, but I will tell you when you work with them and you see them move on and become chiefs of police, it's really so. Chief Randall, who was here when I was here, he was an assistant chief, is now the chief in Pensacola, Florida. And Chief Hudgens, who was an assistant chief here, is now the chief in Pineville, North Carolina. Captain Jason Bullhurst is now the chief in Albemarle, North Carolina. I got to go see each one of them sworn in. I could not be happier for them. They are great people. They're doing great jobs, and I can learn from them. But with the void that created, we selected Assistant Chief Eric Hires. He's doing a great job. He is down in Dallas right now looking at new technology, looking at better ways to recruit and retention. So it's a pretty big conference down there, and it's I'm looking forward to them coming back. Eric does a great job. He has a great heart for people, and he dove in with 2 feet, and matter of fact, we just had a conversation before I got on here, so, yes, ma'am. Tim, thanks. Yeah, it is, I can't wait for the development. You know, I know things are never final yet, and twists and turns here, but I am excited. We're gonna skip over Chris and lock up again.
That was all. Make sure we didn't miss anybody up here.
Let's see.
Yeah, here we go with Mr. Paul.
Yes, pretty much only because the streets end up becoming. Yeah, Mr. Paul, I'm telling you that that's a great idea. You know, I'm open. I just, when you put it on the streets, people get hurt. Those that are racing and those that aren't, and it's sad. It really is sad. So we can't allow that. And you know, when it comes to us towing vehicles for doing that, there's a lot of video surveillance in our city. We have a real-time crime center. We have a lot of license plate readers and cameras. And you know, I'm not going to put officers in danger. We're not going to get in the middle of the road and try to stop a vehicle, but we're not opposed to locating that vehicle and then towing it for evidence in a crime. So I'm open to anything alternative to anybody getting hurt and within the law. But you raised some good points, man. So that's interesting. That's interesting. We should talk. Ms. Bradley Rivera, my daughter goes to work, and I had no fear or worries dropping her off and her friend at their homecoming. That's great. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I try to attend most of the football games here in the city at Todd Stadium. It's really cool that they're all in one place. So I was at the games Thursday, Saturday afternoon, and I heard about homecoming. I think homecoming dances and senior nights and all that. It was really, really cool to see the youth excited. The bands sounded great. I wish some of the scores could have been a little different in some of the games, but I really, and it was really, really good stuff.
There's some, you didn't miss anything, but
Nobody is perfect, because you know how much this department and the people are doing here in the city to keep us safe. If you don't have anything productive, you know, I appreciate that. And so let me just, since Chris brought it up again, since he says skip over Chris, let me be very, very clear. I'm not skipping over and saying that you don't matter, but I'm not going to go back and forth and just have an argument. There's a lot of people that have questions, and I want to try to respond to them. You and I have talked for the last 4 years. Court cases come and gone twice. Sorry you don't like the outcome. I totally understand and respect that, but we're not going to keep hashing it out. We're going to go on and move forward. We have to. I have no ill will or no hard feelings, and will serve in any way I can. But we're not just going to keep going, arguing back and forth. I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity. So when I say skip over Chris, it's not that you don't matter. It's just that we've got to be fair to everybody. So I hope you understand that. Catherine, you're welcome. Thank you. Prince Elizabeth, hello from Suffolk. Hope you're doing well there. I understand the chief in Suffolk is down in Dallas as well. Our guys, my assistant chiefs got to see him. They're attending some of the same classes as policing issues affect all of us. So, I guess that's a conversation going back and forth. Okay, Bob, Chief Drew, there are several places in the country where they have sanctioned street races. The lines that roses barriers, you cannot be on the start of EMS fire waiting on site is doable. Yeah, Bob, so again, I'm not familiar with it, but I'm not saying that's not out there. Those conversations, I can be open to them. But what I don't want, what we cannot have is individuals racing on city streets. Like I said, we had 2 fatalities in the last 2 weeks. We had a teenager that was struck outside of Warwick High School. Individuals that are racing, a car exploded when it hit a telephone pole, and the individual lost his life. It's just horrific. And I just can't believe motorcycles that are doing some of the stunts. We've had an individual on a motorcycle that lost his life. Those are just horrific scenes, and I don't want to see people get hurt. So let's find a way to do it safely if there's a venue for that. And I will tell you now, I'm open to a conversation if it's here in the city or here in the region or whatever, some type of thing like that. I don't have anything against it. I certainly had a speeding ticket or 2 when I was growing up, but it's just dangerous, and I just wanted to be safe. That's all. Look, Halloween's right around the corner. Kids are going to be out trick or treating. The youth are out. It's just, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you I worry about that.
Goslin,
That's what you said. I know. Chief, thank you for your hard work. I appreciate that. Thank you, man, very much. Maria, thank you for all you do. I'm so glad to hear that you are helping with mental health. My friend was an officer and took his own life in another state. I'm glad you have a program in place for those that work difficult situations. Maria, I tell you, I was just in a conversation before I walked in here, and some of the shortages that we have, and I look at the hours that officers are working, and I don't believe some may do it for money, but others do it because they don't want officers to be short. And I've seen reports out of cities around us that are suffering a lot in shortages. That hasn't hit our department yet, but I'm cognizantly watching, listening, talking to other chiefs about when it started, when the vacancy started. Officers see a lot, they respond to a lot, they have to deal with a lot. Citizens that, verbally against them, or crime scenes they respond to, cases they investigate, how they get attached to families. And then they go home and get a good night's sleep, hopefully, and come back and do it again tomorrow. And society expects to get it right all the time. Now, we accept that we're held to a higher standard. I agree with that. But I also submit that individuals that are routinely exposed to critical situations, that it affects them. And I worry about their health. I worry about their mental health. I worry about how they react. So I want to make sure that we're not working too many hours. We just actually looked at some surrounding jurisdictions' policies and changed our policies on how much we will allow an officer to work, extra duty or off duty. I have to do that for their safety. They matter to me. The men and women who do this job, it's like a family. They matter to me. We don't always agree, but I know for 30 years, I know what they respond to, I know what they give up. And I also know that there's not a lot of people willing to do that. So I appreciate your comments. That's great.
bring it back up to Marcus is interested in.
Can I do it right along? Marcus, if you somehow get us a number that I can get in touch with you, we have a way to set that up. I don't know if, Kelly, you have to have, is it instant messenger or?
You could do that, or you can go to the website, to our website at nba.gov.
So, yeah, Marcus, if we have a website you can respond to, let us know. They'll just get some information from
Yeah,
you.
we'll
But we
follow
do
up.
ride-alongs. We'll follow up with you. It is a great, you don't have to do the whole shift. You can do a couple hours. You have to shift the whole shift, but it gives you a good insight of what officers respond to. It's things that they see and deal with.
Pull up here, yeah. Rena.
Do you have updates on the young lady that went missing? I don't remember her name. So Ms. Carter, help me. I got notified this morning that the two boys that were missing in Hampton were recovered. I'm not sure. I want to make sure I don't give something away that I shouldn't. So, yeah, I know about the two young boys. We were following Hampton's story yesterday. But I'm not sure I know exactly who you're talking about. All right, scroll down just a little bit. We did Maria.
Did you do her?
Lisa, thank you for being here. Would love to know how you're doing on the fentanyl. I will tell you, Lisa, it's a great question. Things that concern me. When we have our CompStat meetings or our staff meetings on Monday, we look at crime on Thursday. I will tell you, one of the things we also look at is overdoses, and whether the fentanyl, how deadly it is, the increase that we see coming in, not just here in our region, but the state. We talked a little bit about fentanyl with the governor yesterday and the deaths associated with it, whether it's mixed with marijuana or cocaine, other drugs. It's frightening. And I also worry about officers that are responding to scenes where fentanyl is present. It's very, very deadly. So what we're trying to do is track it, purity levels. We work with the DEA and our healthcare physicians and doctors, our paramedics. They just do an amazing job. We really started looking at repeat, I don't want to say offenders, but repeat individuals who have drug addictions and suffer from that. The clinics that we have and trying to treat it. I think you have to do it a holistic approach, right? Treat those that are suffering from addiction and those that are trying to make money from others who suffer from addiction. But that's a hard battle. We've been dealing that for a while now, and we try to purity levels. We try to come up with better strategies and what works better, but it's hard, and the demand and lacing that fentanyl with other drugs, it is deadly. And I will tell you, there is nothing worse. No, I shouldn't say that. But to hear a mother, because their son or daughter has overdosed with fentanyl, deceased, fatal overdose, it's horrific. It's horrific. You're locked in. That's a great question. I wish I could say we're doing better, but those overdoses continue to rise.
Miss Carter.
Miss Carr, you promised her kids you would find her. Oh, yes. I'm sorry, Miss Yuri Lewis. I didn't. So I can tell you the case is still ongoing. We had about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had some really good leads. We did 2 massive searches in some location we had some information on. We were hopeful and called the family and talked to them myself to let them know what we were doing. And I was disappointed. I have to say, the effort was phenomenal. We had about 75, 80 people that were out. We used our recruit class, our forensics, our drone technology, some other things, dogs. I was really looking forward to coming to work. I knew we started about 5:30, 6 o'clock that morning, but I was excited. A lot of people were. So I wish I had better news. We have not located her yet. I meet with the detectives and get an update on interviews and things that they have in the works, information. We still get a few tips, not as many as that were before. We're looking at forensic and digital evidence. We know this. We know there's one person who knows where she's at. I just ask that you continue to pray for the family and those 2 young boys. What are the numbers here? I see Narcan at the school. What are the numbers here? Oh, I'd like to see Narcan at the schools and middle schools and high school. You know, Lisa, I haven't heard of too many overdoses at the school. I do think we should be teaching classes on that or having conversations. I could share with you, Lisa, I don't know if you know or not, we have a young adult police commissioner program. So we have it's a freshman, sophomore, junior, and seniors from every high school in our city. So counting achievable dreams, that's 6 times 4 is 24. Somehow we got 27 this year. I don't know. They try to sneak 3 in, but we talk to youth about that. We meet with them every Wednesday, and we talk to them about what they expect from policing. How do we make policing better? We talk about what we need from the community. How do we work better together, share information? We talk about, they go with me to meet the mayor and city council. They do press conferences with me. They walk in neighborhoods with me. They're breaking down the barrier, right, between youth and law enforcement and policing. And one of the things we talk about is fentanyl, drugs, narcotics, overdosing. And I'm reading here that you lost your daughter at 23. That breaks my heart. I can't imagine. But I also will say, that I've worked with a lot of families and mothers and fathers who have lost loved ones to overdoses to fentanyl. And scroll back up, Kelly. Did I miss something? Something about poison? Did I miss something?
That her daughter was
Oh, so Lisa, I will tell you, I am so sorry for your loss. But I believe that those that sell that drug, we still try to do some things overtly and covertly to try to address that, not only on our street and in the courtroom as well. But it is hard and it is horrific. So I am very, very sorry. But you make some good points, and I appreciate that. Maria, the opioid crisis is out of control. It is sad. I agree. I believe citizens can get Narcan over the counter, but not 100%. Perhaps if you have friends or family that know, you can get Narcan to keep it on you. Maria, yes, you can. There are ways to do that. And I will tell you, I don't judge anybody. For whatever reason, people turn to substance abuse, alcohol, whatever. You never know what's going through someone's heart, through their mind. But I know that fentanyl is extremely deadly. I know that those things that lead to alcoholism, how it affects lives and disrupts families, drug use and drug abuse. So anything that we can do, there's people that can help, and there's certainly crisis hotlines and individuals and I'm talking faith leaders, pastors, professionals. I don't have counselors on the police department, but we certainly have a venue and avenues to get you to where you need to be. I guess when I talk to people that are suffering of addiction, there are clinics here that help. There are counselors that we can get you in contact with. But I'm not, I don't know what drives someone to that. I'm not judging them. I don't know what situations happened in their life. I just know it's devastating. It's devastating. Brandon, just picks from Texas worked with at-risk teens as well as juvenile probation. What and or where can I start to help? Thanks, Chief. Brandon, let's have some conversation. Tell me some things you're interested in. We have a volunteer program here. Miss Anna Whalen, Monica White. They just do, Rhonda Eccles, they just do an amazing job with volunteers, with youth or adults, things we do in the community, food pantry. We could hook you up with, what your expertise in, what you would like to do. Have a great working relationship with our juvenile justice director, Jared Grimes. So we can sit down and have some conversations. We can talk on the phone, ideas. I will tell you, I think sometimes people look at law enforcement, how do we fix it? And I'll tell you, we're a component, but some of the things we talk about, violent crime, illegal firearms, drug use and addiction, depression, homelessness, I will tell you, we're a component that we have to holistically address that as a community, as a city. And I think we're fortunate here in Newport News, with our city council, our mayor, our city manager, that really are very, very supportive. And how do we work better? We have a great relationship with our schools, our Commonwealth Attorney Office is trying to handle those cases that are in the courtroom. The counselors that we work with, our human services, and we're going out to make sure that our kids are safe and elderly abuse. But I think you have to look at all that holistically, and the police play a role. I know we cannot arrest our way out of those things. So people who want to volunteer and bring their time and donate their time, I value that. Stuff that we do with domestic violence, how do we get better? I would like to say that we're seeing domestic violence calls go down, but we're not. We're seeing them increase. But we're certainly treating our victims better. Now, that doesn't mean that we treat everyone perfectly. We don't get it right all the time. And there are some things that, officers are trying, the first thing they do is try to calm a situation down. Sometimes we see that when you go to a domestic call, that two that are having a frustration will turn that aggression on the police department. Or if there's something happened and we're trying to address that. But I will tell you, I think we're better today than we were yesterday, and we keep training to do better. Dr. Cheryl Shavers now, right, her doctorate, has just done a tremendous job on how we teach our officers, how we respond, that how that domestic call go often depends on how we act when we cross that threshold. But again, we're human. We're not always going to get it right. We strive to, and we try to put things in place. But she's just done an amazing job. The domestic violence team, sergeant, detective there, they just done an amazing job on awareness, on providing education. We actually, I want to make sure I get the date right, but we have a domestic violence forum on October 26th from 5 to 7. Myself and the other chiefs in the region are going to sit down and just have a conversation. We did this a couple years ago about gun violence and some of the struggles. I imagine it will be sort of the same. We'll talk about some of the issues we're seeing. What are some things we're doing to address it? What are some things we would like to do in the future, and how do we get better? I'm looking to get some good things back from Dallas on what maybe other departments are doing. We have gotten calls from other departments about what we're doing. But I think we always have to try to do better. We're never going to be at a spot where we say, hell, we've got it. It's how do we continue to improve? So you make some great points. Mr. Rivera, great job with the security at Todd Stadium during the homecoming week for so many of our high school football games. Go Raiders. Warwick fan, huh? Okay. Also, thanks for the increased presence at the Atkins Boulevard racetrack. So, certainly trying to address some of the speeding there, and I thank you for recognizing that. We've done some checkpoints as well. I'll tell you, the best commodity we have in our city is our youth. That's our future. I enjoy going to those games. I enjoy some of the students. They will come up and talk to me, and people in the stands. I think it's important to do the best we can to make sure we have the right security there. I heard that the homecoming dancers were great so far, and it's just important. Interacting with youth I enjoy that. I want youth of this city to know that they matter to me. I know it's hard growing up being a teenager today. When I was younger, you might have words with somebody, something physical, and it was over. Today it lingers in social media for weeks and months. And peer pressure worse today than it's ever been. I know it's hard being a teenager, but I talked to one of our commissioners today and just talked about the importance of being able to walk away. Don't allow somebody's words or actions to control your words or actions. Don't give them that power over you. You do the best you can and you move forward. Don't stay in that spot. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to support you. Move forward. You can't fix it all, and we're all different, right? But I tell you, the youth of this city, I enjoy going to those games. I enjoy that interaction. We have a great partnership with Dr. Parker and our school system. I appreciate him and his staff. We're constantly giving information back and forth. It's great to have that ability to share. I will tell you, one of the things the governor talked about Newport News was the relationship that we already have. Human services, schools, the police department, the Boys and Girls Club, Things for Youth to Do, the YMCA, the grassroots organizations, all those things coming together, how we work with our elected officials, our leadership, the great work the Commonwealth Attorney's doing, the work that we're trying to do in the field to disrupt, hold those accountable, disrupt intervention and prevention, a proactive and reactive approach. But they talked about the groups that work together in our community, and that was one of the things that they recognized when they came to visit at a roundtable session we had. What kind of programs for the youth do you encourage better behavior? It's a shame to see high percentage of children. Yeah, Catherine, I'll tell you, for me, I think it's all about respecting our youth and having open and honest conversations. I think we need to be focusing on de-escalation, the dangers of drugs and addiction, the dangers of driving, the dangers of social media. I think that's probably the newest thing, gang and group activity. But social media, I think, is the biggest for me. Things that they say can get passed on, whether it's guys or girls that send pictures of themselves to each other, and then that gets passed on. Attacks and bullying that goes on social media. I think just be cognizant of that stuff. We're so advanced in this world in technology today that it can also be used for evil, right? And we're not, I want to make sure that I say it over and over. Just because you put on a uniform, it doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. We don't always get it right. I think we have to be open and transparent. Now, if someone doesn't agree with us, or we don't agree with someone, that doesn't mean somebody's right or wrong. We just don't agree. But mistakes can be made. And when that happens, we have to try to address that through training, look at or at least review our policies and procedures. But sometimes it's a mistake. You know what? I forgot this block. I forgot this measure. So those things happen, but none of us are perfect. And we got to go back to remember men and women who are willing to serve. But your point is very well taken. And I know it's hard growing up today. I know it's hard being a teenager. I applaud parents and school system. I applaud teachers who are doing the best they can to impact youth. I still remember high school teachers when I was growing up, elementary teachers. That's a hard profession, man. That's hazardous pay. We have an SRO at every high school. We have an SRO, a school resource officer at every middle school. We adopted our elementary schools. I'm kind of having some pull back and forth now between Jenkins and McIntosh. I've been to both and got to speak to elementary students. I think I got a picture in the yearbook at McIntosh. I snuck in there. But the youth are our future, and they matter to me. If you look at any history of our police department on our website, any promotion ceremony, award ceremony, graduation ceremony, I'll have a teenager as one of the guest speakers. I just think that's important. How often is it that you see a high school student talking at a police graduation? And I will tell you, you would be amazed. There are students who get out of school that day to come and see police recruits graduate. And that to me that's impressive. On the youth part, it's impressive on the youth part. Lisa Reed, good old-fashioned assemblies in schools like over in Virginia Beach. Yeah, I'm not sure what she's saying. Thank you, Chief. Would love to see those dealers in jail. Law needs to be changed. Yeah, Lisa, I tell you, I know a lot of people go back and forth about the laws and I get it. I get it. And it's hard. It's hard. So it's okay. A couple things I wanted to touch base on. 30 for 30, that was a question that somebody had written in and asked. So what we're trying to do in law enforcement is encourage more more women to join law enforcement. It's been for years such a male-dominated field. I want to make sure that women know that they're valued here. We're wired differently. They look at things differently. So I'd like to see our department. There's a movement to see police departments across the country that 30% are female by the year 2030. Now we're a little bit above the national average. I think the national average is about 14 or 15, and I think we're sitting around 22, 23, 25%. So we're moving there. It's retaining the females that we have and bringing new females in. I look at our academy classes that are very, very diverse. I could not be more appreciative of our recruiters and academy staff that bringing new people into this organization and training them. But I look at the diversity there, not just in race and gender, but background and age, and there are great people coming. Now I will tell you this, we're always hiring in the department. We keep those requisitions open. So if you're interested in law enforcement and you want to come to a family atmosphere and you're willing to put in hard work, hard time, right? It's not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And sometimes you don't get off on time. Sometimes on your day off, we ask you to come back in. Sometimes when you're off, you have to go to court. But you have the ability to serve people and make lives better for people every single day. We're always hiring, and I would love to have you come work with us and join this family, this team. So we talked about the 30 for 30. Look, on October the 22nd, since we're talking about hiring, on October the 22nd, one of the problems in law enforcement that we learn is that we take the written test, come back for an interview, come back for a physical agility test, come back for an assessment. On October the 22nd, from 8 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, we're going to do all that in one day. Here at 9710 Jefferson Avenue, the Newport News Police Headquarters, we're going to do all that here. We're going to take the first person here at 8 o'clock, and it doesn't matter if you show up at 1:55. We're going to take that person and go through the whole process in one day. So you don't got to come back and lag time and come back 2 weeks and come back. We're going to do it all in one day. One day session right here at police headquarters. Our recruiting, our background, our division there will be here to facilitate that. I'll be stopping by to check in on that. I'm excited about it. It just gives you an opportunity where you can come and let's go through the process. Let's move. Some people are ready to get to work. Now, look, we still got to go through an academy. We do twice the training that just about any other twice the training that's mandated by the Department of Criminal Justice Services. And then we add some classes. We take a week out of the academy and let recruits ride for a week and see what it's like going to those calls. We shut the academy down for a week and have recruits out just doing community service. We've added a class on just communication that we don't get credit for at all. But one thing that we seem to get the most complaints on is how we interact and talk to people. So we're trying to do those things better. But on October the 22nd, from 8 in the morning till 2, we'll have a great staff here. It'll be a great day. I might even spring for some food, Kelly, and let people come in and hang out. No donuts. No donuts. Our class graduates on November the 4th. So we have, last count, 16 or 17 recruits that are going to walk across the stage. They'll be going out into field training and joining the department. After about 3 or 4 months of field training, they'll be on their own. Once they feel ready and we feel like they're ready. But I'm looking forward to that graduation. There's another class that will graduate in March, and now we're hiring for the class that will start in February. Our goal there is for about 30. So we have 16, 17 in the class that will graduate in November. There's 20 left in the class that will graduate in March, and then we're hiring for the class in January. So I'm excited about those things. We talked about the domestic violence forum that we're going to have with the other chiefs in the region. That's going to be held on October the 26th, and that's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. We're going to videotape that, and we're just going to have a roundtable discussion about domestic violence and what is Suffolk and Norfolk and Virginia Beach doing that maybe we're not doing? What are we doing that others might not? Just sharing ideas, information, and talk about how important domestic violence is.
Ms. Hughes.
Ms. Hughes, sir, is it too late to still reach out to you about singing the national anthem at the next graduation? My husband is graduating. Ms. Hughes, reach out to us, give us a number, let me get in touch with you. We will see what we can do. You definitely don't want me singing it. I guarantee you that. You don't want me singing it. But we'll see what we can do. And I greatly appreciate and look forward to working with your husband. Social media is a problem. Social media certainly can be. There's advances to it, but there are certainly problems with that. So Lisa says, so are the parents. So I know it's hard raising children, but parents have got to be involved. I don't think there's one solution, right? I think it's schools, police, human services, our community, people in our neighborhood, residents, certainly parents have got to know where their children are at and what they're involved in, who they're hanging out with, where they're going when they're coming in. I'm not placing the blame anywhere. There's enough of that. You can go on any website you want. You can turn the television on anywhere you want and look at people blaming. What I'm saying is we have to all do something. The youth of this city are the best commodity we have, and I think we got some of the most talented youth in the country right here in Newport News. I see them at school events. I see them at plays. I saw them at job fairs. I saw them at the science fair down at Brooks Crossing and all the technology. Look, when I was a kid, I had blocks. They're down there drawing designs, building ships with technology and flying planes. It's just amazing. But all of us play a role. Coaches, teachers, faith leaders, pastors, chiefs of police, police officers, librarians, community members. All of us play a role. We have to do better than what we're doing now. It's just we're losing too many people and too much of our youth. Who can I speak? Ms. Brumfield, it's good to see you here. Who can I speak to about volunteers for domestic violence events? So I will get you in touch with Anna. Anna, Monica White, and Miranda Eccles do an amazing job of coordinating some things. We'll get you in touch with them, and we'll set it up just how the best thing it works. But I greatly appreciate that. I'm that noisy mom. My son is 22. He lives with me, and I ask him, where's he going? And my daughter's 6, and I thought they were all equal and we to be treated with respect. You know, that is profound. I remember getting upset with my mom and my dad. Where are you going? Who are you going out with? When are you going to be back? You know, but I know they cared about me and they were worried about me. And sometimes when we talk to youth or young people that are involved in certain situations, one of the things they say is nobody cares anyway. Nobody cares about me. I'm telling you, I care about you. This department cares about you. There are people in this city that care about you. There are pastors that I could name off right now. I talked to one last night that care about the community in the city. There are pastors in the city that are trying to work out things. Some venues are going to be closed for repairs, and there are pastors calling saying, hey, this is something we'd like to do. Would you like to be a part of? Absolutely. The Boys and Girls Club, they care. There are parents that care. There are other students who care. I'm telling you, it is not a video game. Gun violence is real, and it doesn't matter to me your age. I'm telling you, you don't have to resort to that. Those that pick up a firearm, listen to me. You're better than that. You're worth more than that. You're worth more than that. Just stop. You are ruining someone's life and yours and your family's, those that love you and care about you and depend on you. Stop. There's no words that are worth that. And I don't, maybe you're seeing my heart and my passion, but I'm telling you, nobody likes to come out at 2:30 in the morning, at 9 o'clock in the morning, at midnight, and see a loss of life. You're better than that. So I don't think you're a noisy mom. I think you're a caring and compassionate mom. Where can we donate toys again this year? You know, we'll get set to that. Right now, are we still collecting donations for domestic violence? Any of the precinct police headquarters? But we'll talk about toys once we get. Look, we ain't even past Halloween yet. Give me some. We got to get past Halloween first. And remember that this is Breast Cancer Month as well. So we're you know, this pink badge, it brings out my eyes. This is breast Cancer Month as well. So we just mentioned that. I tell you, this week I was busy. I want to share with you. Wow, look at Brandon. Those are great. Social media, gangs, grooming, drug. Wow. Brandon, that's great. I would love to have you work with us. So I will tell you a little bit about where I was at this week. So Saturday, day off, right? We know what that is. So let me share this with you. I started out my day with Chief Grinstead and other officers. There was a 5K race across from Warwick High School at the park. It was a fundraiser. From there, we went up to Port Warwick and participated in an Alzheimer's walk around Port Warwick neighborhood there. From there, I left and I went to Brooks Crossing. That was the science fair that was going on down there, just really exposing all the technology inside and outside at Brooks Crossing, shipbuilding. It was just amazing. I was there with the assistant city manager, Alan Archer. We got to spend some time together. It was just amazing. From there, I went to a high school football game at 12 noon. I got to see a good football game. I came back here at headquarters and put the finishing touches on a grant. And then from there, I went to the second football game that evening. So I will tell you, it was a busy. Did I bump that? I'm sorry if I bumped that.
No.
Jump. It was just a busy weekend, but let me tell you, I got home about 7 o'clock on Saturday on a day off, but I enjoyed it. I had a good time out interacting with the city and going to those events, and it matters. Those things matter. And I want to thank all the officers that spend their time going to those events. And I know it's hard to get by everything, so I just appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let's see. Church of the Bone. So nope, not going to do that. Catherine, thank you. A lot of kids won't talk to their parents, but I always tell children, that's excellent. It's excellent. It's changed so much. You're right. It has changed a lot in 40 years. You're right. I absolutely love it. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. So let me just want to touch base a little bit before I get off here. I want to thank the men and women who do this job. Oh, Ms. Carter, thank you. I want to thank the men and women who do this job, who stay in this profession, those that are joining it, thinking about joining it, those that are in school right now to get into criminal justice. What you do matters. You make a difference in this community, this city. And again, we spend a lot of time focusing on the small amount of individuals that are just against law enforcement and berated. There are people who are hurting, who need help, who rely on you every single day. So I appreciate those that answer that call, that have a heart of service, that want to come here and make things. I interviewed a couple of new applicants today, and they both talked about we have a heart for people. We want to make things better. I appreciate our pastors in our community that work with us and talk to us about how do we do things better, build better and stronger relationships, whether it's Dr. Lyons, Dr. Parker, Dr. Vreeland, Richard Wright, individuals with schools and community conversations, the stuff that they do to invest in others, Boys and Girls Clubs, our police foundation that help us with some non-traditional things for this department. But I appreciate the men and women who do this job, those that work midnight shift. I appreciate our dispatchers who work around the clock, who only hear critical situations and don't have the ability to see it or see it through fruition, that they handle some of the most critical moments. They are the true first responders. The detectives who investigate the cases, some that are extremely hard to look at, are narcotics and gang detectives that try to prevent crime before it happens, our federal partners that work with us, those that work with technology, our IT department, the men and women here that work in records and try to get citizens information, give them the service they need, our crime analysts, our forensic technicians. I'm blessed. This city is blessed to have you, and I just appreciate the work that you do day in and day out. I'm telling you, it matters and it makes a difference. Thank you for that. Thank you, first responders. Thank you for that. Deborah, the police department, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I have a degree in criminal justice, but I changed my path because I'm way too emotional. You know, it's okay. I understand that. I've seen myself get that way a little bit as I get older. Maybe it's more wiser. I don't know, but I certainly understand. So I'm going to get off here. We're going to do this again at 6 o'clock this evening. Thank you for all those that joined in. Nikki, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Very true. Thank you for spending some time with me. I know it's hard, hustle, bustle in life, and maybe we can take a look later on, and we'll be back on at 6 o'clock, talk about some discussions and hit the things that we talked about today. I appreciate you all. Please look out for each other. God bless. And I'll be back again at 6 o'clock this evening. Take care.